I think it's important before we go along on this series that I'm planning to talk about practical magic. So I've already said a few things that are a little bit mystical, a little bit woo, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. I don't want to lose my practical folks in this. So I really want to stress and talk about how everything, or most of everything that I do personally and that I will be sharing here, has a practical component to it. Coming from a living tradition, there is a reason that these things are living for people. There's a reason that these traditions survived, and that is because they had real practical application, most of the time for the survival of the people or the culture. Okay, so I believe that everything physical has a spiritual counterpart, and everything spiritual has a physical echo. But even if you don't believe in the spiritual realm at all, you can get something out of the things that I say or the practices that I present. And that's true for most practitioners. There are things that cross the line. And I know this because, you know, I have worked alongside academic folks doing the same work, and I've seen them without the belief in the supernatural or spiritual, without going about things exactly the same way that I did, using the same framework to create similar results in their life. So if you are, you know, lighting a candle for intention, and you're creating a ritual to sit down and do a thing, for me, that's a very spiritual experience. I'm interacting with spirit, I'm working with it. For you, it may just be the fact that you're practicing awareness, that you're setting intention, that you're creating a container to set in and reflect and do some kind of emotional work, right? So all of it, or most of it, has a practical application. And another reason I know this is because you're probably not gonna believe this, but I'm a very logical, realistic, kind of skeptical sometimes person. I do question everything. I was telling somebody the other day, had I not had the experiences that I've had from a child, I would probably not believe in like 75% of the woo stuff that I do, to be honest. I just have no choice, because when you experience certain things, you can't not believe them. Okay? I guess I have a choice. I could, you know, ignore it and then not get the benefits of it in my life. But why? You know, why? In fact, there are people that have worked alongside for years who don't know the extent to which I work with spirit, who don't know the more woo sides of my practice. And that's because I generally keep it quiet. I generally focus on the practical aspects of what I'm doing, unless I know that I'm around people who also work with spirit. There is a reason that I am kind of breaking the silence now. There are a few, but I mean, one of them is just being authentic to myself and my practice, and being honest about what I actually do and believe, so that I can hopefully share things that are more beneficial. The other is up for me to know. But, you know, you don't have to believe in spirit or energy to understand that your rituals shape your behavior, symbols will shape your thought, and intention will shape outcomes. So I hope that you find something practical in everything that I personally present. If you see me presenting practices, I will always try to make a spiritual and a practical component into it. So even if you just learn a new breathing technique, or even if you just take a moment to sit and reflect, and you're not doing the full spirit work that comes along with it, that's absolutely fine, okay? And on the other side of that, if you are one of these practical, super skeptical people, have grace with your woo friends. Like, don't judge us. We probably know how crazy we sound. We probably, you know, if you're like me, like, I wouldn't believe this, right? Like, yeah, so have grace. And also, there is a line to cross. There is a boundary here where the spiritual can get so fantastical that it's dangerous. And if you guys ever see me stepping across that line, call me out on it. Directly message me. Don't call me out in the comments because I might cry. But directly message me and be like, hey, are you okay? Because we do have to be careful with how much we engage in the more supernatural or fantastical parts of this. We can lose ourselves. We can go into spiritual psychosis. So whether you call what is happening in these realms psychology, energy, spirit, it doesn't matter. There's something here for you. I'm just being me when I talk about spirit.